Good morning, Jasmine.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. Did you have a good weekend?
Yes.
Good. Did you go to the races?
No, I went to see my little cousin's t-ball game in Greensboro,
Oh,
and then we
all
went to
right.
this craft show thing, and it was outside, and it was very warm.
Cool. Well, I uh, I got bucked off a horse and screwed up my ankle real bad. It's a wonder
That
I
does
didn't
not
break my
sound
ankle
fun.
driving. Huh?
That does not sound fun at all.
No, but yeah, instead of my ankle rolling from the outside in like that, it went from the inside out like that. And so I got all my swelling bad on the inside and all the discoloration all the way up my leg, and it pulled the muscle, hurt my calf muscles all the way up to my knee. I was told I was very fortunate I did not break those bones. Those are the ones that break legs, that put professional athletes on the bench for a while. So it's sore, it hurts, it's swollen, and what scares me is I've got a horse show Saturday and I can't even fit into my boots. Yeah, I know. And right now, we're tied in the nation for the Appaloosa Horse Club in one of those classes. We're tied fifth, leading the points in the nation. I got to put my foot up. I'm not trying to be rude or disrespectful, but it's throbbing. And yeah, I do have shorts on. I know, but I can't fit boots on. It's not very pleasant. But anyway, uh, but I just got to rest my foot. I don't think you can see it, so that's cool. All right, so do you want to do your presentation and then we'll look at other presentations that I've gotten in so far and see what they got? We'll look at their PowerPoints.
Okay.
All right, I've got yours pulled up and we will start the slideshow. Oops, let me get it up here and you can talk me through this. And I still smell like skunk.
Oh,
Glad you're
I was
not
about to
here.
ask you, did you I was about to ask, did you get the smell off?
No, I guess I'll just have to wear it off. So here we go. You just tell me when I need to change.
Okay, I guess you can go on to the next slide. Um, This shows about my farm. I have a cow calf operation with 25 cows on 37 and a half acres. The goal of my farm is to have a spring calving and terminal herd and to sell all the calves at weaning. And next slide. This is a map of my farm. I have 3 pastures, and each of the pastures has a water source. And I have the pond in the middle beside the house, and then the barn has 2 confinement areas around it. Next
Now, is this
slide.
where you're? I'll I'll be quiet. Go ahead. Okay, go ahead.
Um, this is the nutrition where I balanced all my rations. And 0 to 3 months after calving, I'll feed fescue hay and three-way mix, 23.11 pounds of fescue hay and 8.31 pounds of three-way mix. 3 to 6 months after calving, I would put them in a pasture and feed them pearl millet, approximately 22.41 pounds. 6 to 9 months after calving, I'd feed them fescue and three-way mix again, 27.83 pounds of hay and 1.36 pounds of three-way mix. 9 to 12 months would be 8.41 pounds of hay and 3.51 pounds of three-way mix. And the bulls, I would feed them pearl millet, and the weaned calves, I would do hay and three-way mix. 0.5 pounds of hay and 9.5 pounds of three-way mix. Next slide. My forage management plan, I would be feeding for 0 to 3 months, 6 to 9 months, and 9 to 12 months. And the weaned calves, I'd feed fescue and three-way mix. For 3 to 6 months, I'd feed pearl millet. And for the bulls, I would also feed pearl millet. And I'd rotate pastures every 5 days. Next slide. For the reproduction plan, I'd have a spring calving herd in March. I'd have 2 bulls, a 90-day breeding season that begins in June, and I would plan to have at least 21 calves, which is 85%. Next slide. For the herd health, the vaccines that I chose to give the cows were MasterGuard 10 HB cattle vaccine, which protects against IBR, BVD type 1 and 2, PI3, BRSV, and 5 different strains of leptospirosis, and the Guardian cattle vaccine, which protects against scours. The calves, I would also give them the MasterGuard 10 HB vaccine and a Colostri Shield 7 vaccine, one at 3 months and one at weaning age. And then I'd also give the cows raw growth implants. Next slide. For the genetics, when I choose the bulls that I want to breed to my cows, I would look at the weaning weights and carcass traits, because since I'm selling the cows at weaning age, I want to have higher weaning weights. And then I also wanted to look at the carcass traits, because if they have better carcass traits, buyers will come back and buy other calves with good carcass traits. Next slide. The budget, my non-feed costs were my vaccines and breeding costs. The vaccines totaled up to be $253.25, and the breeding costs were $7,552. The feed costs, the total annual feed costs were $9,673.63. The fescue hay was $273.85 per cow, $2.44 per calf, and the three-way mix was $84.96 per cow and $1.63 per calf. Pearl millet was, the total cost of that was $618.75. Next slide. My total annual cost was $17,407. It's supposed to be $478.88. It wound up being $389.91 per cow and $18.14 per calf. And I plan to sell the calves in December, and they should weigh 600 pounds, and they would be selling for $1.09 per pound, which would total to $654 per calf. And that would total, for 21 calves, it would be $13,478.88. And I had a loss for the profit part. I'd have a loss of $3,744.88.
Okay.
And I believe that's it.
Yeah, I think so. All right. I think you did a good job. I really like how you did your budget. You know, you got. I was watching the show the other day, yesterday. You ever watch that show Undeniable with Joe Buck?
No, I don't think I've seen that.
Okay. Joe Buck is he's a sports announcer, and he's got a show on called Undeniable, and he interviews people. And he was interviewing Emmett Smith yesterday, or the TV show was yesterday. And he, Emmett Smith said, unless you write it down, it's just a dream. If you write it down, then it's a goal. And if you got a goal, then you work toward it. And if this is what you want, I think you got a pretty good goal. I think you got a good plan. Okay? Let's go back here and let's talk about this a little bit more. Uh, I think you did a good job. I'm not criticizing it, but let's discuss this a little bit better on your, and give you, I think you're in the right direction, and I think I know you put a lot of time and work in this. I'm not, I'm not criticizing. I'm just going to tell you in real life some things you may want to consider. Okay? Now, you got 37 acres, 25 cows. Uh, you're one thing, I know I harped on this. You're coming up to about 1.5 acres per cow. Now, theoretically, on fescue, that should be able to do it. You should be able to produce, you should be able to raise enough forage for that cow-calf pair. Uh, providing you have good, you keep it fertilized, and providing our weather is a normal year with rain and we don't get very many dry spells. So right there, you did your research, you got it balanced out. All right. In reality, that can work. Okay. Just so you know, you can make that work and do well. And some years you'll be pushing it. You may have to be feeding some in the summertime, especially if it gets dry. But that can work. Reality, you may want to cut back to about 20 cows. Just to play it safe, because, and I say this because number one, I know that you're going to be a vet, or your goal is to be a vet, and this is going to be a part-time farm, right? So,
Right.
huh?
I said you were right.
So, you can manage it accordingly with your 25 cows, or you can cut back to 20 cows. I noticed too, you have 2 bulls. Uh,
Yes.
Again, that's playing it safe. In case one bull goes bad, you got a backup, right? Generally, the rule of thumb is 1 bull per 25 cows. So, if you do breeding soundness exams and you make sure he's fertile and he's a mature bull, you should be okay. If he's a young bull, you're going to have 2. If he's a yearling. But if he's mature, you'll be fine with 1 bull. So that could help cut your costs by moving back to 1 bull. Okay. Spring calving, terminal herd, that's cool. Uh, you sell everything, you buy back replacements. With that small of an operation, it's probably not worth trying to raise your replacement cattle. I think you can go find good quality cows for what you could raise them for, or just about what you could raise them for. Okay. Uh, the other thing, well, I'll get onto this here in a minute. All right. So you got 3 pastures, your barn. I guess your working facilities is somewhere right around here, right? Around your barn.
Yes.
Okay. What about this empty space here? Is it being used for anything?
I don't think so.
You could put in some more pastures. Okay. And I know this isn't drawn out to scale, so maybe this pasture comes all the way over to your cattle pens. This one comes almost all the way over. You got your pond fenced out, and you may have another one right here. Okay. Uh, but that's fine. I was just wondering about this, and I know this is just a concept that you don't have a farm, but I would utilize everything you could get. Okay. Uh, and I know, we went over all your rations and everything. Okay. Um, first 3 months after calving, you're going to be looking at from March, April, or let's see, March, April, May, right?
Yes.
If you start calving May 1st. Reality, you're not going to be feeding them those 3 months because your grass is going to be coming on pretty strong and you're going to have them out on pasture and that's going to take care of their needs. Okay? So you may be feeding them this fescue mix March and most of April, at least half of April. And during these 9 to 12 months after calving, February or January through March, you're probably going to be feeding them that. Um, and then 6 to 9 months after calving, you know, you may be feeding them this. It's all going to depend on your forages, how much forages you have. And what you may end up doing is separating your cows after weaning time according to body condition and feed the skinnier ones and let the heavier ones be okay on grass. All right. But what you did was balance rations, which is what I asked you to do. I'm not, you did exactly what I asked you to do. Thank you very much. I'm just telling you in real life what's going to happen. You're not going to be feeding them the hay in June because they're not going to eat it. Oh, they'll eat the grain, but they're probably going to get enough of the nutrients from grass. So, and the same thing in April. If you've got plenty of grass, you're not going to be feeding them in May, June, July, August. And right here, you said I'm going to go with pearl millet. So if we come back here to this other your maps, I assume you're going to take one of these pastures and put it in pearl millet.
Yes.
All right. So pearl millet is you're probably going to plant it sometime around the 1st of June. Well, your area, you may be planting it in May, toward the end of May, because that soil temperature has to be a certain degree. Okay. You plant it a little bit later than corn, uh, but it'll come up and you can start grazing it. So I would probably say about the end of June, July, you're probably going to be grazing that pearl millet. I assume you're going to strip graze it, right?
Yes.
And so hopefully that'll get you through a month. I don't know if it'll last you a month. Are you going to do one pasture or two pastures with pearl millet?
Two.
All right. So if you graze it down, strip graze it, say these two pastures, then you can come, by the time you finish strip grazing this one, you come back to this one again, come back to that one. So, and you're just letting that fescue grow. Okay. Uh, and then you're going to be looking at hay or fescue grass, and then your weaned calves. Probably more than likely, what you'll end up doing in real life after this millet has been ate down, you've gotten a couple grazings off of it, maybe three. You're gonna come back in with some other grass, like a small grain with oats or rye, maybe turnips, so that you have some fall and winter grazing to cut down on your feed expenses. Make sense?
Yes.
So you may plant like either oats, triticale, or rye in one pasture. You may come in here with turnips in another one and strip graze this till it's gone, and then go back to your feeding your go back to your feeding deal. And then your weaned calves, you know, graded. How much did you want your calves to wean? I mean, from weaning time until you sold them, how much are they going to be gaining on weight?
I was planning on selling them at 600 pounds.
All right. So what do you think they're going to be weighing at? What weaning off at? You're going to be weaning them about October, right?
Yes.
Are they going to be close to 600 pounds?
Probably not. I don't know.
Well, it depends. You know, ideally, a cow's going to wean off, at 205 days, which is about 7 months. She's going to wean off a calf. She should be weaning a calf, a steer that weighs half of her body weight. The heifer's going to be about 50 pounds lighter. So if she has a steer calf, if the cow weighs 1,200 pounds, she should wean off a 600-pound steer calf. If it's a heifer, it ought to be about 550. So, say you're weaning in October, you're going to dry lot these calves and teach them to eat out of a bunk. Make sure they're weaned for 60 days to sell on BQA sales. You may be selling closer to about a 700-pound calf if your cows are producing the way they should. Okay, so you may be having more money in there coming in than what you're anticipating. Uh, you're going to monitor your pastures. Okay. Uh, Reproduction. You got two bulls, 25 calves, 25 cows. If they're a mature bull, you can probably get by with one. Okay, like we said. The other thing I think you need to think about, since you're a veterinarian, you should know how to do this. I would change a couple things on my reproduction. You've only got 25 cows, 20 to 25 cows. See that 90 day? I would knock that down to about 45 to 60 days.
Okay.
With my goal of being 30 days. Okay, you got a small herd. I think you should be able to have most of those cows bred and calved within a 30 and breed them, get them all bred so that they calve out within 30 to 45 days. And the reason being is because of artificial insemination and synchronization. You're a vet. Okay, you're going to be able to get these drugs for synchronization just like any other vet or, you know, can do. Um, you can run them in there. You can synchronize them, give them a shot of GnRH, put the cedars in. 10 days later, yank out the cedars, give them a shot of Ludolice, come back in and breed everything. Time breed them. Wait a couple of days and turn your bull out for cleanup. Leave him in there about 30 to 45 days. Yank him out. And have a 30 to 45-day calving season. That's what I would do. I wouldn't extend it out to 90 days. And if you're AI, and the other thing I would really look at doing is to see if you can rent a bull instead of buying a bull. May save you some money. Just from the standpoint, you don't have to feed him for 11 months of the year when you're only using him for a month, or 10 and a half months and you're only using him for a month and a half. So I would look at maybe renting a bull. Okay. I think that's a good goal. 21 calves per cow, 85%. You ought to be weaning a minimum of 85% of your calves per cow exposed. So you breed 25 cows. The following year, you ought to be able to wean at least 21 of them, 85%. Good deal. Uh, Hopefully, you'll do better. But, crap happens. Leg gets back, dystocia problems, whatever it may be. You're not there because you're out on another call. So, that's realistic. Some years you're going to do better. Some years you may do worse. Okay. That's a good goal. That's reasonable. Um, Vaccination program. I'd probably do this about 6 weeks apart, or the colostral, at 3 months of age. You're right. And then your HB deal. Uh, I'd get them in about 6 weeks prior to weaning, and then get them in and do them again at weaning time. Brow grows every 90 days, like you said. Uh, and your cows or your pre-breeding vaccines. Good job with that. Of course, this scour deal, you're going to give those cows that prior to calving. And the way your farm's set up and that many cows, it's not going to be a big deal to run them through the chute and work them. You got a pretty easy setup the way it looks. Nice job on the genetics. You specified exactly what you're looking for: weaning weights, carcass traits. Um, that's the type of bulls you're going to try to breed to. Budget. Hey, you done a great job with your budget. Some things that's happened the last couple of weeks. Cattle prices have gone up. Uh, so I don't think you're going to be selling a 600-pound calf at $1.09 now. I think you're looking at about $1.23, $1.24. And as I said, you're probably going to be closer to a 700-pound calf. So that figure there may be changing big time. I think you got your two bulls figured out here. Uh, that's a fair price. Cut that down, that's going to cut your breeding cost in half. Probably add another, let's see, say $3,700 for one bull, say $1,000, $1,500 for the AI, not to mention your less feed you have to feed them. So I think you'd be better off AIing them and buying one bull or trying to rent a bull. But I think you done a good job. Thank you very much. Are you happy with it?
Yes.
Yeah, I think you should be. I think you did a good job. You put a lot of thought into it, and I think I may give you an A for that. What do you think?
I like that idea.
You like that idea? I tell you what, Jasmine, I think you deserve that, don't you?
Thank you.
I mean, I can, you sat there, you balanced out all your rations. Uh, I think you done a good job. You did a nice job with your budgets, and I think you learned quite a bit off of this deal.
I did.
Yeah, I think you did a nice job. So I think I'll give you. I think you deserve an A for that. You worked hard at it. All right, let's take a look at. Let's take a look at another one. Um, all right, not that one. All right, that PowerPoint's not there. Let's see what Aaron's got here. He's got a breeding farm. Tennessee Walkers. Uh, all right. He likes Tennessee Walkers. That's cool. Table of contents. Let's take a look at what he's got here. All right, he's got 5 mares, 2 stallions, foals, gelding, 25 acres. All right, looks like he's balanced his rations. Um, pulled him off of, well, he's still 1 to 7 months. He's still on, probably on fescue. Well, no, he's got orchard grass. 8 to 11 months. Got his rations there balanced out. Well, tell me what he needs, and here he's telling me what he's going to be feeding them to meet those needs. All right. That's how he's going to meet them. All right. Okay. So he's got his pastures divided in two. Uh, fescue and mixed grasses are typical, and orchard grass and alfalfa rotate every 2 to 4 weeks. All right. Probably I would recommend him to come in here and divide those paddocks up a little bit more, even if it's just with temporary fencing. Uh, you know, breeding season, May 1st. So he'll be foaling in April. Kind of got his dates wrong there, but that's all right. Be selling the foals in the fall. Uh, yeah, typically don't synchronize them. Got his vaccinations. They say this is going to be a bad year for mosquitoes, so we'll probably be looking at a lot of West Nile, and better make sure we vaccinate horses this year against West Nile. Strangles, man, I don't know what to tell you about that. My vet says that vaccine's not very good. Uh, Boy, it's a bad thing to have, but you know, he thinks you're wasting your money, so I don't even vaccinate for it anymore. So he's got his budget set out. Wow, even seed, gas, hay. Pretty nice little job on his budget. What about his income? That may be on his other deal. All right. Pretty nice little presentation, though, isn't it?
Looks good.
Yeah, it does look good. How do I get back? There we go. Yeah, he did a nice little job on that thing. Let's take a look at Evans. He sent it to me the other day. Let me find it. Let's take a look at this, ladies. Doesn't have PowerPoint there. All right. All right. Let's take a look at uh, Evans here. He's doing a grass-fed beef. He's doing the those not the miniature, but those low-line cattle that we were talking about in HR. Remember that? Keith was talking about them.
Yeah.
So, so his plan, his goal is to raise and finish beef on a grass-fed only diet, to be locally processed and sold as retail cuts to fill the grass-fed niche market. Going for a niche market. So, giving us some background information. Grass-fed cattle have been raised on forage, no grain. Um, He gives us the definition for grass-fed beef. 99% or more of their energy comes from grass and or forage. Uh, an AMS verified claim of grass-fed is not the same as claim as organic or free range. All right, he's given us a good definition of what grass-fed cattle are. What can they eat? They can eat any non-woody plant material other than separated grain. So they can eat silage. They just can't. You can grow silage, grow corn, chop it for silage, and feed it to them. But you can't pick the corn from the corn and feed them the corn. So you can't separate out the grain. Uh, so that's cool. Keys to a successful operation: cattle, selecting your breeds, having a designated calving season, good rotational grazing plan. Exactly. Great forage plan. Have your proper forages to take advantage of the area's growing season, and have an appropriate number of cattle per acre. Do not overgraze. His operation: 2 farms, one for calving and grazing and hay production. Farm 2 is for finishing and alternative forages. So he's got a second farm he just raises alternative forages on to get those calves ready to get them fat off the forages. The main farms where all the hay production and calving is going to take place. 60 head of low-line Angus, rotationally grazed on forages and alternative forages, synchronized in AI to take advantage of forages' natural growing season. Look here, Jasmine. He's going to be breeding. He's got 60 cows. He's going to calve about 15 every 3 months. Interesting, isn't it? Why would he do that instead of calving them all once a year?
I think it would be a little bit less work having to calve all 60 at one time.
Well, I don't know. Calving 20 out's no different. Calving 60, just a little bit more time. But he's going to have to do it all throughout the year. Instead of just once a year, he's doing it 4 times a year. Do you know his reasoning on this?
No.
All right. He is producing grass-fed beef to fill a niche market, right? So if he sells 60 calves, if all those 60 calves are ready to be killed and harvested, because he's going to raise them, get them fat, and slaughter them, right? They're all going to be ready at the same time, theoretically, right?
Yes.
So if they're all ready at the same time, he can't supply meat throughout the year, right? It's just a one-time shot. So he's trying to have about 15 calves for his clients throughout the year. So he has beef to sell every month. If he runs out in a couple of more months, he'll have another set of calves ready to be harvested. You see what he's doing? He's spreading out his market instead of overloading it, and then the price go down, and he's out for the rest of the time. He's doing a little bit, because he's doing a niche market of supplying grass-fed beef year-round to people. That makes sense?
Yeah.
So he's very untraditional. He's after a certain niche market, so he's redoing everything. He's kind of going against conventional ag to fill out this niche market. Very cool. I like that. So, feed the cattle, mainly grass in the summer and hay and silage in the winter. Cattle on the farm are finishing are grazed on fescue grass and alfalfa, and hay, silage, and winter rye during the winter. They strip graze the herd around the farm, and they plant a variety of forages that mature in early spring, summer, and late fall. All right, so this is his farm. Which one's his, I don't know. That's okay. He's at work. But at least we got pictures of farms around here. Maybe this black line there, wouldn't you say? See these big
I
black
think
lines right
so.
here?
Yeah. Yeah.
See how that maybe all the way up through here. You got these fields. Pretty good sized little farm, it looks like. Okay. So he's got pictures of the strip grazing, water access, got an alleyway. All right. You see that pretty good on what he's doing here with his strip grazing? He's got an alleyway right down the middle, and he's grazing here. They can come over here to water, open the gate, and they go down here on this side of it, and here and here. So he's got water here and water here, and he can move gates around or move fences around. Probably going to be using, my guess, he's going to be using a lot of temporary fence moving this. Um, so he's going to make a couple cuttings of hay, maybe three, and then graze the rest of it, or graze it, strip graze his hay fields, then move the cattle off. Final cutting of hay will be left standing to extend the grazing season. Okay. Winter strip grazing of the farm. Here and here, here and here, here and here. All right, he's just giving them more to graze. Okay, this is the second farm for the finishing of his life, finishing of the steers. And they'll graze alfalfa as well. All right, pasture alfalfa, pasture alfalfa. Okay. Okay, so after they cut silage, turnips will be planted to extend the grazing season. Cattle will graze turnips and winter rye, then then go back to pasture, come back and graze again. All right. Winter rye, turnips, turnips, winter rye. So he comes back to the pasture, lets that grow a little bit more, then comes back in and grazes them. Okay. They're going to AI their herd using synchronization so they can choose when they're going to calve. They'll breed 60 head a year, 15 every quarter, so they'll have a steady supply of beef finished and ready to be processed throughout the year instead of having a single calving season. So the CDR, so they're giving the cedars and Sister Ellen. Remove that, inject Lutalice, start heat detection, and then breed on standing heat. Uh, and then last day of heat detection, uh, give Sister Ellen and heat check a little bit more. Herd health, they've got a biosecurity and vaccination plan to keep them ready. Hopefully he showed it to us. Yep, right here it is. Vaccination plan. He's keeping back replacement heifers, so he'll give them brucellosis at 4 to 12 months of age. Okay, nice little vaccination plan here. Genetics. Uh, he's after big time carcass, isn't he? All right. The only thing we missing on that is his budgets. Hopefully, it's on his written plan. Pretty nice little plan, doesn't he? He put some work in on that, didn't he?
That's really good.
Yeah, pretty nice. Okay, see what other ones. I've gotten a bunch of the written ones in, but I don't have a lot of the PowerPoints for some reason. Okay. I got to do some more gradings. Got a bunch of stuff in this weekend. All right. So he did a pretty nice job on that, I think. Aaron had a pretty nice little plan there. Uh, and let's see here. All right, I got to read their plans and grade that. I haven't done that yet. All right. Let's see here. Some things I wanted to talk about. We did a review for the exam. You feel pretty good, ready to take your final?
Yes.
You have your final tomorrow, or is it the HR final tomorrow?
This one is Wednesday and the HR one's Thursday.
Okay, Wednesday and Thursday, nothing for tomorrow. Okay. All right. That's cool. Uh, and let's see. All right. Couple of questions I wanted to ask you. Did you see last week, was it Nordstrom's came out with a pair of dirty jeans on sale? They can buy dirty jeans for 400
Yes, I
some
seen
dollars.
that. They were like $425. That is ridiculous.
It is. All right. Let me ask you this. If they want to look like they want to work, right? What do you think
Yeah.
I could sell my jeans for?
I
You
don't
know,
know.
I mean, just think about it. If us ranchers could go out before we wash them, especially after we go out, we do, we're doing our brandons and stuff, and we got blood on them and been out fencing with them and got little nicks on them from wire and got cow shit on them and cow blood on them. And I mean, you think our $20 Wranglers or $25 pair of Wranglers be worth $500?
Probably not, because they use fake mud. I don't
Uh,
get how you use fake mud though.
well, I mean, couldn't we just take
Because they
in
said
some
it was.
grease and ground it in there real good and you know, like we've been greasing up the tractor and a little bit of oil and blood, and instead of trying to wash them first, we just let them, run it through the dryer and let it sit in, and then kind of just hose them off to get the stink out of them.
Mike could sell them then. But they have
You
a
know what
matching
I did
jacket
when I
too.
was in Nebraska? And I kid you not, there was an ad on the radio station I listened to. It says, bring in your old Wranglers and Levi's, and we'll buy them from you. We'll be set up at the Kmart parking lot. And I had a bunch of wore out jeans, and so I pulled in there with about 4 or 5 pair of jeans. They were tore, they were nicked, they had blood on them, they had cow poop stains on them. And this was in the 90s, okay? Early 90s. And I pulled them out, and he said, "What do you have?" And I said, "Well, I got some Wranglers, and I don't wear Levi's much, but I think I had a pair or two left over." And he looked at the stains. He goes, "What's these stains?" I said, "These is cow poop and cow blood." He goes, "What do you do?" I said, "I cowboyed. I've worked on farms. I've cowboyed. Now I'm in grad school and doing research." He goes, "Oh, so you do work with cattle?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Okay, I'll give you $15 each for these pair of jeans." I said, "Here you go, sir." And so I sold him my jeans. I said, "I'll be back." So I went back to my apartment and found every jean I had with cow stains on there, cow manure stains and grease. Took them back, got 10, $15 a pair for them, right? I mean, I was out of jeans other than what I was wearing, Jasmine. But I had about 100, I don't know, $75 in my pocket. I go over to the co-op, go buy me about four. I think at the time, they were about $15. I go buy me about 4 or 5 pair of brand new Wrangler cowboy cut jeans and got rid of all my old stained jeans. That's never happened to me before. It never happened to me since. But at least I got rid of all my old stained up jeans. Got paid for them. I mean, I was just going to wear them until I couldn't wear nothing else, until they was wore out. And a couple pair he tossed. He goes, "They ain't worth nothing. They're already wore out." So, but that's all right. This poor broke college student got 4 or 5 brand new pairs of jeans for selling about 7 or 8 wore out pair. I thought it was a good deal. The ones he wanted to throw out, I just kept. Used them for work jeans a little bit more. They still had some more life to them. So I ended up with the same pair of jeans by the time all was said and done with new ones and the ones he didn't keep. So that's cool, I thought. But I'm not $400 for a pair of jeans. Come on now.
They have a matching denim jacket too.
I mean, why do you even want jeans that look dirty?
I don't know. I
I
have
don't need,
plenty that have holes and stuff in them. Some that I wore the holes into, and then others that I bought with holes, but they
Now
actually look nice.
I'm not going to buy a pair of jeans with holes already cut in them. All they do is get bigger, you know.
Mine don't have like really, really big holes. It's more just like they look like they're rubbed in holes. They're not like big gaping holes like some of the jeans are.
Uh-huh. Well, I'm just not going to buy jeans with holes in them. You know, be it right, be it wrong, I'm just not going to do it. Uh, I want a new pair of jeans. They're going to be dark blue, stiff, new pair of jeans. You know, that's what I like.
I'm wearing a
Uh,
pair today that I bought with holes already in them.
you bought a pair today with holes already in them.
No, I'm wearing them now.
Oh, okay. Well, you know, I want my new jeans to look like they're new jeans. I don't want them to look like they're old and wore out. If that's the case, I'm just going to wear my old and wore out jeans. You know, But that's just me. I mean, anyway. All right. That's all I really wanted to go over today. Uh, you know, so uh, last day of class. I'm. I thank you for putting up with me. I hope you enjoyed it and you learned a lot from it. Uh, and I hope you had fun.
I learned a lot. It went better than I thought it was going to be the first day when I walked in here and I was the only one in here.
Well, I'm not that bad. I don't bite too hard. My bark's worse than my bite. Of course, you're a good student. I didn't even have to bark at you. I think you did a good job. I've enjoyed having you in class, and I I hope you had I hope you learned a lot,
I did. Thank you.
and I appreciate you being putting up with just me and you in this class the whole time. And I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
I hope you do well. I hope you I hope you go to get transferred in to the 4 year college you want to go to and get into vet school and have a successful practice and have a fun life, a fulfilled life.
I, when I signed up for my classes for fall semester, I signed the articulation agreement saying that I would go to Virginia Tech fall 2018 if I have a 3.0 GPA. So I plan on
Well,
going to
that's
Tech.
good. Good deal. Uh, I'm. I think you'll do well. I think you'll be okay. And I think if it's any uh, if it's any indication of what you do, um, your schoolwork, uh, I think you'll be. I think you'll be all right. I think you'll have. I think you'll make a good vet. So uh, I'll let you go, and I hope everything you do well on your exams.
All right. Thank you. Probably see you later.
All right, talk to you later. Good luck to you.